Right now in Metro Vancouver, over 2,500 brand new luxury condos are sitting completely empty. They aren't under construction. They're finished, polished, and ready for move-in. But nobody is buying. While developers blame Premier David Eby for a policy bloodbath, the government says this is exactly what they wanted. Today, we're looking at who's actually telling the truth. The why. I'm Calinda, and you're watching Calinda Reports. We're told there's a desperate housing shortage, yet nearly $2 billion worth of inventory is collecting dust. Why? Because the Australian economy 2026 isn't the only one feeling the heat. British Columbia has become a global test lab for aggressive housing reform. I've spent the last 2 weeks digging through municipal records and developer interviews to find out if these ghost condos are a sign of a market collapse or a necessary market correction that will finally make housing affordable for you. 1. The $2 billion inventory problem. Let's look at the hard numbers. As of late 2024, Metro Vancouver has 2,147 unsold, completed condos. The hotspots. Vancouver proper leads with 892 units, followed by Burnaby and Surrey. The historical context. This is the highest level of unsold inventory we've seen since the 2009 financial crisis. But here's the kicker. These units were started in 2020 when the market was speculator heaven. Now they're hitting a world where the rules of the game have been rewritten. 2. The Eby effect. 3 policies killing the flip. Developers are pointing the finger directly at Premier David Eby. They claim 3 specific policies have effectively killed their buyer pool. The flipping tax, a 20% hit on anyone selling within a year. Speculative transactions dropped by 34% almost immediately. The short-term rental ban. This removed roughly 2,800 units from Airbnb. Developers lost the investor segment that usually buys 20% of their pre-sales. The foreign buyer ban. Extended to 2027, this essentially shut the door on the global capital that Vancouver developers relied on for decades. 3. The developer's nightmare versus the renter's win. Is this a failure? Well, it depends on who you ask. The developer's side. 7 major firms are already in restructuring or insolvency. Pre-sale launches have cratered by 63%. If developers stop building now, we're looking at a massive supply crunch by 2028. The residents' side. For the first time in a decade, average rents actually declined by 4.3%. First-time buyers are finding units for $100K less than their 2022 asking prices. Micro moment of engagement. I want to hear from you. If a developer goes bankrupt, but a nurse can finally afford to buy a home, is that a policy failure or a policy win? Drop Team Resident or Team Supply in the comments. The payment fatigue and construction stalls. Banks are now dealing with something called payment fatigue. Lenders are modifying more construction loans now than in the last 5 years combined. When a developer can't pay back a loan because they can't sell their ghost condos, the project gets sold at a discount. That sounds great for buyers now, but it means the next building might never get started. The 2026 outlook. The 2,500 condos sitting in Vancouver are the canary in the coal mine. They represent a fundamental shift. Housing is being treated as a shelter again, not a stock market. Whether you think David Eby is a hero or a villain, the math is clear. The old model of building for speculators is dead. If you want to stay ahead of the Australian housing market crash or the Canadian crisis, you need to see the data before it hits the headlines. Next step. I've just finished a report on how these exact same flipping taxes are being considered in other global cities. Watch this video next to see if your city is the next ghost condo zone. I'm Calinda, and I'll see you in the next report.